be sure to get mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Make sure they spell it right.
I didn't buy some job that'd be good.
For sure. You should. You should.
Live is on.
Yeah, they're looking at that.
Most likely a white chip. Let's see. That's off. Much better. Excuse me, bro. Put it right here on the desk, all right?
That's at 9.
All right.
But anyway, he got. December's the 2nd. Black and white, you know, so I did this in black. And I sent it to him, he went to Texas. And, I just thought that. You're right, good point.
I'm gonna punch that through the wall.
Right now. Mainly when they're trying to get in is my only goal here.
So you can probably finagle that in there somehow. It'll, yeah, that looks pretty flexible. Perfect. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Good job, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. everybody there gonna come in and just get started. So let me hit live.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to our Sheriff Gator DeLoach and our fellow county commissioners for being here today. It is my honor to introduce a leader who's been making headlines not only in Florida but in Washington, Congressman Randy Fine. He's a successful businessman and has turned into a great public servant. After serving in the Florida legislature for many years, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. Congressman Fine is known for speaking his mind and standing firm on tough issues. He's a strong voice fighting for Putnam County and all of Congressional District 6. Right now, he's focused on solving the government shutdown and making sure your tax dollars are spent wisely by putting Americans first. We are grateful to have a strong congressman in Washington representing us. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Randy Fine. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank the chairwoman for introducing us today. I want to acknowledge who's here first, then I'll have a few remarks, then I'm going to let the sheriff talk about the impact of the Schumer shutdown on how he operates things here in Putnam County. But thank you to Chairwoman Leota Wilkinson for that very nice introduction. Thank you to Sheriff Gator DeLoach for being here. County Administrator Terry Suggs is behind me, and then Commissioner Walt Pellissier is here as well. I appreciate all of them being here. Today we're in day 3 of the Schumer shutdown, and I want people to understand what is going on. 2 weeks ago, my colleagues and I said we need 7 more weeks in order to get a budget done that will have to pass the U.S. House of Representatives, have to pass the U.S. Senate with 60 votes, including Democrat votes, and be signed by the President of the United States. We need 7 more weeks until November 21st. So we passed a very short continuing resolution. No new policy riders, no change. It's exactly the same as what Democrats have voted for 13 times before. The only difference is this time Donald Trump was the President of the United States. And Democrats said they would only vote to keep the government open if we were willing to re-access Medicaid and health insurance for illegal immigrants. They said in order to keep the government open for 7 weeks, you have to agree to $200 billion of funding for health care for illegal immigrants and a bunch of other crazy ideas. And we said, no. Here's the government, keep it open, have your debates. We're open to having those debates over the next 7 weeks, but we don't do this stuff to keep the government open. And so Democrats said no, and they voted to shut down the government. And today we're in day 3 of that shutdown. And the reason I wanted to come to Putnam County today is because I'm cognizant of the fact that we're in the midst of hurricane season. My family had 2 houses destroyed by hurricanes. My parents in 2004, mine in 2016. And when both of our houses were damaged, the first people that were there were the federal flood insurance folks. Well, right now, today, as we stand here on October 3rd, it is illegal to buy federal flood insurance. It is illegal to renew federal flood insurance. So that means if you are doing everything right, you are being responsible, you are buying federal flood insurance, and it just so happened that your deadline has come up, you can't be covered. And if a hurricane were to come, and they do in this time of year, and you were to have damage, there's nothing you could do because Democrats have chosen to put all of that aside to try to get health coverage for illegal immigrants. It's a real big deal, but it's not just about people being protected. It means homes can't be sold and homes can't be bought because most people buying a house get a mortgage. And the bank may say, we won't give you a mortgage if you don't have flood insurance. Well, guess what? That means people can't buy their homes and they can't sell their homes. And that's going to affect other people. But there are other effects as well. We are a few days away from the Women, Infant, and Children Program, WIC, a program intended to provide for the nutritional needs of low-income mothers and children running out of money. And again, Democrats are saying providing free health care to illegal immigrants is more important than providing food to in-need children. It's simply wrong. And then lastly, I think about the ICE agents that I had the privilege of going out with on a mission here in Putnam County a few weeks ago. I think of our soldiers who are working not only on bases in the United States, but around the world. They all have to go to work every day right now. But you know what they don't get? They don't get a paycheck. Because Democrats have said they'd rather illegal immigrants get free health insurance than our soldiers get paid. But you know who is getting paid no matter what? Congressmen and senators. We get our paychecks no matter what. And that's just wrong. So one of the things that I'm here to announce is today I'm going to be asking the administrator of the House to withhold my pay until our soldiers are getting paid, until this budget shutdown, this Democrat shutdown comes to an end. And frankly, I call on the Democrats, who are the ones who are keeping the government closed, to do the same. I saw the most horrific statement by a Democrat senator who said, no, I can't not get my paycheck. How am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to pay my mortgage? It's a great point. But for some reason, they don't mind when our ICE agents and our soldiers aren't able to do the same thing. The Schumer shutdown's having real effects on Floridians, and the effects are only going to get worse. So I'm here to talk about them and to let them know that I'll do everything I can, and we have, to get the government open. But it's time for the Democrats to stop holding us hostage about insurance for illegal immigrants and get the government open. And with that, I'd like to turn it over. We'll get to questions both for those of you here and those media outlets that are watching online. We'll get to questions, but first, I'd like to turn it over to Sheriff DeLoach for any comments that he'd like to add.
Thank you, Congressman Fine. So not only does this government shutdown have tentacles that reach all over the world, but what you may not realize is that it affects us here locally as well. Just here in Putnam County at the Sheriff's Office, we have assets that are assigned not only to Federal Bureau of Investigation task forces, but also DEA task forces that are funded through a federal initiative through HIDA. And without those HIDA dollars coming in, all of the work that our agents are doing that are assigned to those particular task forces effectively comes to a halt. So they're not getting paid, just like the soldiers that Congressman Fine mentioned just a moment ago, but all of those other programs and assets that support those task forces are not in operation, and they can't do their jobs to make us more effective at eliminating drugs from our society. So not only does it affect people on a global level, but also here on a more granular level here locally. And it's absolutely atrocious that we have shut down the government just because of some whiny, snot-nosed brats who want to give money, $200 billion to illegal immigrants. It's absolutely ludicrous. And with that, I'll turn the time over to Congressman Fine.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Sheriff. Last thing I'd say before we take questions is what my ask is. Democrat senators are in Washington today, and if they haven't yet, they will soon be voting again on whether to allow the government to open. Republicans are there. We're voting to open the government. If 5 Democrat senators will join Republicans to get to that 60-vote number, the government will reopen. We can have those debates that they want to have between now and November 21st about all of these policy issues they want to discuss, but the government will be open, our soldiers will be paid, Floridians will be able to buy and renew their flood insurance, women will be able to get their WIC money, and all of these other issues will go away. So my hope is today 5 Democrats will choose to join Republicans in doing the right thing and getting the government open again. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Congressman Fine, on the press release you sent out, you also mentioned impacts to FEMA. How would it work right now? A storm hits, does FEMA still come in? Do they still do their jobs? Do those reimbursement dollars come through?
Well, that's a much bigger challenge. As these guys can tell you, when the storm hits, Florida's really responsible for dealing with the issues. FEMA's major role is reimbursement. And those reimbursements actually can take years to get. And so that's not what worries me that much. Frankly, the years of reimbursement worries me, and we're actually working on that separately. Counties should not have to borrow money in order to front the costs while they wait years and years and years for FEMA to repay them. What worries me here, though, is the federal flood program is a FEMA program. So when we're talking about FEMA, that's what we're talking about. And what I observed in 2016 when my house was damaged is within days, FEMA inspectors were there to help. But again, I want you to keep in mind, you're an elderly family. You live in a low-lying area. You've gotten flood insurance. It's heavily subsidized already by the government. The most you can get is $250,000 of coverage on your structure, $100,000 on your contents. And you've had it for years, and it expired on October 2nd. Like that was your policy date. You can't renew it. You can be holding up, wait, I have the money, I want to do the right thing. You can't renew it. And then what happens if a storm shows up here in the next couple of weeks and your house gets destroyed? Those people are going without insurance even though they want to do the right thing. And that program is run by FEMA. And that's what Democrats are holding up in order to demand $200 billion in money to give health care to illegal immigrants. Make no mistake, we only want the government open for 7 weeks to finish the budget. They've said if you want 7 weeks, we want $200 billion. The only money I'm interested in giving to the only money I'm interested in giving to illegal immigrants is the money to buy a plane ticket to get home, not to give them health insurance.
What are you hearing in the halls of Congress? I mean, are we getting any closer to a deal? Is there any signs that one side is
There's no deal. But there's nothing to negotiate. Because we didn't put anything in the continuing resolution. We didn't say we want a continuing resolution and we want these 12 things that I want. There's no Republican policy ideas. It's simply extending the same budget that we've been operating for 7 weeks. So we don't have any asks. Our ask is keep the government open. There's nothing to negotiate. So that's the problem. They have to say, fine, we too won't ask for anything. We'll keep the government open for 7 weeks. The time for negotiation, the time for debate is over the budget that we then have to pass to operate the government. If Democrats want to argue about free health care for illegal immigrants, they can have that debate when we are doing the budget for the government. But keeping it open is not the time to hold us hostage. So no, I think we are waiting for them to come to their senses. And part of what we need the public to do is speak up and say, you work for Americans, you don't work for illegal immigrants. Get the government reopened.
I have a question for
Yeah.
Sheriff.
Oh, sure.
DeLoach, if you have a minute. Sheriff, now, you're around the residents here in Putnam County. Talk a little bit about some of the things they say to you in your office about hurricane season. Is there a heightened concern for flooding when storms hit?
You know, there always is, and one of the key things that I think is certainly noteworthy here is we are right in the midst of the peak of hurricane season as we speak. This 4-week period historically has the most storm activity. We see storms brewing constantly out in the Atlantic, coming off the Cape, and it's just a matter of not if, but when we're going to be impacted, and we've got to be proactive about getting the federal government back open so that we have the assets to support our local resources here.
Yeah, and I think Florida Democrats, they're not in the Senate, but Florida Democrats in the House that voted to shut down the government are keeping their constituents from having flood insurance. And I think everybody needs to know that. It's important to me because I'll have to go look up the date, but it was a month before I got elected to the legislature in 2016. It was right around now that we had the storm that destroyed my house. And I think about that last month of the campaign, and I'm lucky. I was a successful entrepreneur. I'm not dependent on flood insurance to be able to support my family. But not everybody is as fortunate as I have been, and I think it is wrong to hold the government hostage, to hold Americans hostage, to give free health insurance for 10 years to illegal immigrants.
Congressman, this seems like it's at a standstill. Would you say, I know you say what the Democrats are doing or saying, but as far as the folks that are Republican, are you guys at a wait-and-see mode?
We're waiting for them to do the right thing. I mean, we're saying over and over and over again, we did our job 2 weeks ago. We said budget's not going to be done by the end of the year. We need a little bit more time, 7 weeks till November 21st. We're not going to make any changes in policy. We're not going to make any changes in the budget, including Republican priorities. We just need 7 more weeks, and we voted on it, and we gave it to the Senate. So the House has done its job. The Republicans have done their job. It's now up to the Democrats to say, yes, the government needs to be open. People should be able to get flood insurance. Soldiers should be paid. Low-income women and children should be able to get their food. We've done our job. We need them to do theirs.
Have you seen storms hit Putnam County or surrounding areas? And if you have, can you describe what the damage looks like from your point of view?
Well, every storm is different, and that's the thing. I mean, obviously we don't have one right now, but I can only talk about it from my own perspective. When water rises and it comes into your house and it damages your house, and you need money to immediately muck it out, to get that wet drywall and things cut and out of the house. Days matter. Part of the issue I had in my house in 2016 is people sort of dithered around, and so the problem got a lot worse. It's got nothing to do with federal flood insurance, but that's what happened. So in this moment where we're worried about hurricanes, where we're watching to see if and when one happens, and we're very lucky there's not one out there right now apparently, but it could happen at any time, and we need people to be able to buy that federal flood insurance, and worse, renew flood insurance. But also our economy grinds to a halt if people can't buy and sell their homes. There may be people who want to move to Putnam County right now who can't do it because the bank won't give them a mortgage because they can't get flood insurance to protect their house. These problems need to stop. They are self-imposed, and they are self-imposed by Democrats. Stephen, do we have any from the...
One that came in, and it came from a few different, so I'm going to summarize for a few different outlets, is basically along the lines of the timeline and what it would look like. At what point does it become irreversible, things that have happened from the shutdown? How many days, how many weeks until things are not fixable again?
Well, it only gets worse with time. I don't know that there's like some magical date. It only gets worse with time. Right now, the government's closed. It's day 3. The Senate has said if the Democrats don't vote to reopen the government today, they're going home for the weekend. So then you'll have day 4 will be Saturday. Day 5 will be Sunday. Maybe they'll try again on day 6. But it's going to get worse and worse because keep in mind, many essential workers in the government, like people in our military, they have to go to work, but they're not getting a paycheck. So the strain on Americans is going to get greater and greater. What I do know is the WIC money is going to run out soon. I mean, that is what Russ Vaught from OMB has told us. So very soon, again, in the name of getting illegal immigrants free health insurance, American children will go hungry. It's an abomination that that is the policy of the Democrats. All right, last question. Anything else? All right, if that's it, please continue to follow my social media at @RepFine. I'm actually going to have a teletown hall meeting tonight. The phone number is on my social media site. By the way, it's open to the media. You guys can dial in too and listen. So I'll be talking, saying a lot of this, and then answering questions from last time we did one of these. I think we had 20 or 30,000 Floridians on. So we're going to do one tonight to just update them on what's going on. What is important that people should know is my entire office is still working. All 6 of my district offices remain open. So if people have issues with the government, they can call, and we will do the best that we can, subject to the limitation that much of the government is shut down. So I appreciate everyone coming to this press conference, and I will see some of you tonight on that teletown hall.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. That okay? You okay?
I'm not so. What? I'm not so.
Oh, you're not? No. Well, that's what they told me. I was like, I don't like surprise.
Oh, I didn't even hear.
He's all right. I'm accompanied by County Administrator Suggs and Commissioner Halsey. I was in the audience.
Good job. Hey, bud, thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Appreciate all
You
your
would
help here.
think the WIC thing, and I mean, those are 2 such valid, strong points that you made. You would think that they would understand.
I think that they believe traditional media will just carry